The war clouds are again across West Asia. Messages, meetings and military maneuvers, each loaded with intent. Israel says Iran is preparing for a surprise attack. Iran insists its missile program is defensive and not negotiable. Our next story decodes whether Israel is preparing the ground for a fresh strike on Iran.
In the world's most volatile region, silence often hides the loudest warnings. Israel has sent a private signal to Washington. Iran's latest missile drills, it claims, might be more than just exercises. According to reports, Tel Aviv believes the display could mask preparations for a real strike, a diversion before deployment. Inside Israel, urgency is mounting. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to brief President Donald Trump during the US visit on December 29 on potential future strikes against Iran. Sources suggest this comes amid intelligence chatter about Tehran's growing missile capabilities and Israel's insistence that time is running out to act. Tehran rejects the accusation outright. It says the missile program is purely defensive, a shield, not a sword, and asserts it's not up for debate.
Iran's missile program was developed to defend Iran's territory, not for negotiation. Therefore, Iran's defense capabilities, designed to deter aggressors from any thought of attacking Iran, are not a matter open for discussion.
The words reflect a firm line drawn under sovereignty and security, even as Western analysts dissect new satellite imagery showing Iran testing long-range precision systems. Behind diplomatic channels, suspense runs high. Air bases across Israel remain on alert. Israel says Iran's ballistic missiles, along with its nuclear program, are the main threats it sought to neutralize during the 12-day war in June. Israeli estimates suggest Iran's monthly missile production could hit 3,000 units if left unchecked. If signals and shadows are any indication, both nations are now engaged in a strategic chess match, one played in secrecy, satellites and silence. A single launch, a single miscalculation could shift the balance across West Asia again. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Joining us now from London is Mr. Chris Doyle. He's the Director of Council for Arab-British Understanding and also its lead spokesperson. Mr. Doyle, it's good to see you and thank you very much for your time. There are some people, or some critics, who are questioning the timing of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's significant statement against attacking Iran to the United States President. What do you think? Because some critics and Iranians say that this is the wrong time to raise such an issue.
Well, the timing is obviously significant, but I think what is really interesting here and noteworthy is that very clearly on this occasion, unlike in June, Netanyahu is making a big play that he is going to discuss this with President Trump in the United States at Mar-a-Lago. In other words, rather than launch a war in which officially Israel says that the US was notified only just beforehand, this is trying to be designed as a collaborative effort to destroy or at least degrade Iran's ballistic missile capabilities, even its nuclear capabilities. But the question really is, will this all work? I said immediately after that June war that we will be back in such a scenario very shortly, because you have not addressed the underlying issues that drive the conflict between Israel and Iran. That's continued since 1979, the Iranian Revolution of that year. And unless you do that, Israel and the United States may carry out further attacks on Iran, but Iran will seek to build up that ballistic capability. And those missiles, as we have seen year on, year out, will become more potent, more long range, more accurate even, and therefore more of a threat to Israel and indeed others. So it's not really a winning strategy. We need to get back to negotiations, proper negotiations that can address the issues between all these parties, their security concerns, and hopefully that can take the region into a new future.
Mr. Doyle, yesterday I spoke to some policy makers and policy analysts from Iran, and they say that the country has been readying itself because it's sure that an attack will happen on Iran anytime soon. So the country is ready. They are saying that they have been preparing for this because they know and understand Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. My question to you, do you think Iran is ready for another attack?
Well, I think that what we saw in June shows that Iran has limited military capabilities to really stop such attacks. It will no doubt respond with further barrages of missiles towards Israel, most of which will probably be knocked out in midair or land in open areas. But there will be some, if this happens, let's hope it doesn't, there will certainly be some damage to Israeli sites. It's not a scenario that either country, either leadership really should want. And Iran will come out the bigger loser in all this, in the sense that a combination of Israeli and American force on Iran will definitely bring about huge amount of destruction, probably loss of life. One wonders where this lands up. So it'd be much better. Hopefully some mediators can come forward to say, rather than having another very dangerous round that could go into all sorts of areas. And remember last time we got to a situation where Iran launched a missile at Qatar. We could get to the blockade of the Straits of Hormuz, where so much of the world's oil and gas goes through. It could hit the global economy. So this is really in nobody's interests. And it would be much better to try to get back to proper talks and away from this idea that force is going to sort this out.
Mr. Chris Doyle, it's good to see you. We'll have to end it there. Thank you for talking to us today.